Oh, you remember that time we were at Wave Station and some dude walked up to us selling porn?
Yeah. Porn and then weed, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, it was like, we don't want any porn. He was like, you want some weed?
Yeah. Because this is my real business. The porn is just a front.
It's just a side
It's
thing.
just to keep it legal.
So, when we used to live in Queens, my uncle Sam used to live with us.
Oh,
you know?
God.
So my uncle Sam, like this is back when he was like 18, 19. We were fresh like out the boat. Like I was like maybe 5 years old. So I was only there for a couple of years, in the States. So we he would always buy those bootleg porns. So like I remember like because I stumbled into a stash when I was like 5 or 6 and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then like it was a VHS at that time, and I'm not gonna tell you the title of it yet because I'm gonna finish it. I'll let you know at the end of the story. So like I remember seeing this
You're
and
at the climax.
I see what you did there.
He really appreciated that, Brandon. Good job.
Yeah.
So, I remember, and then like my uncle was like, well, he caught me like, you know, so he's like, I was like, what is this? And he's like, hey, don't touch that, don't look at that. And then he's just like put it away. So like years later, like when I was 16 or 17, and he's like, you know, Uncle Sam's married, he lives in Maryland, and so I come to visit him. I'm looking through, like, I go downstairs, and in the basement, in his basement, he has this incredible home theater system. It's fucking beautiful. And he would, like, play shit like Sade and, like, you know, like, really, like, awesome music.
Yeah.
And so, like, he let me sleep in the basement, because he's like, hey, you can watch DVDs, or you can do whatever. Because, I'd just gotten into playing guitar a couple of years ago. So he wanted to encourage that. So... you know, I'm watching Carlos Santana and all this like DVD performances, and like so I'm looking through his DVDs, and I pull up this like one DVD that's behind like I think a Foreigner concert DVD,
Yeah.
and like I pull it up and it's blank except for the title of the DVD written in black marker, and it's the same DVD that was its DVD version of the VHS that I had found back then, Thick Latin Asses.
Thick Latin asses.
And I was like, I got the basement to myself. And I popped that shit in, but I forgot the surround sound was still on.
Time to revisit my childhood.
But like I put it in, but I forgot the surround sound was still on. So like it went from like I was watching Santana, and then I popped in, and so it's like oh.
Man, DVD must have changed the industry for fucking
Porn.
guys peddling porn on the streets.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like how many VHSs can you feasibly walk around with?
So my Uncle Sam like hears that, and he runs downstairs to the basement. He's like, "What are you doing? Get away from there!" Same thing.
It's like the second time that's happened.
And then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just, I saw it." And he's like, "Look, you can't tell your Aunt Erna about this." And I was like, "What the hell would I tell Aunt Erna?" He's like, "All right, cool." And so later that day, he bought me a video game. So like that whole summer, I just remember I got to play WWF Warzone for Nintendo 64 all summer because I found his DVD.
Oh, I had that shit for PlayStation. That's still the best wrestling game ever.
I love that game. But, what he didn't know is when I left that summer, I also took Thick Latin Asses with me. Actually, I will tell you, Jake borrowed that DVD from me.
What? For real?
Yeah. Like, I told Jake about it. I was like, yo, I found this. And so he took it. And you remember, this is when his parents were still together. So, his dad, the dude, he's kind of like real strict and stuff. So I give it to Jake, and then the next time I see him, he's like, Jake comes to me and he says, I was like, yo, so you saw DVD? He's like, yeah, I didn't like it. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what? He's like, they just kept doing weird stuff. I was like, and now like in retrospect, and I was like, makes sense. And now he's a libertarian.
I never met not one dude that doesn't like thick Latin asses. We have to I hope you recorded all of that because we have to open up with that. That's hilarious. But then your wife is going to be like, where is this DVD?
So I don't keep DVDs. I put everything on the cloud. So, if you see anything on the cloud that says TLA, it's actually just The Last Jedi. That's all. It's like, Jedi doesn't start with an A. The Last Jedi. Because it's only one Jedi.
It's a bootleg, so, that you can change that shit around.
It's like, oh.
That's as far as I know, now that I've heard that story, that means you have blackmailed 2 uncles that you have found some sort of either porn or like sexual paraphernalia. Why couldn't I be that lucky? Why couldn't I stumble on some sketchy shit and be like, yo, you gotta pay me?
Does Brandon know about the sexual for my Uncle Dom?
No, right. Dom is his name?
Yeah, Dominic.
Do you know?
No.
Wait, do you know about the time that John blackmailed his uncle and then I blackmailed John?
No, I've not heard
Oh, shit.
All right, so let me get to the part where I blackmailed my uncle, and then Ben, you can take it from there. So my Uncle Dom used to live with us in North Carolina in Garner, back when Ben went to Enloe and, I went to Garner. But
Brandon went to Enloe, too.
Yeah,
he was around.
Yeah. I know, just to put it in context of something that Brandon would know. So, like, my parents and I drove an ice cream truck, like, during the summer as a side business. But my Uncle Dom had his own ice cream truck as well. He actually started it before us. My parents got him started first, and then when, like, they saw how well he was doing, he's like, oh, the guinea pig project worked. We should do it ourselves. And so anyway, my Uncle Dom lived with us, and, he did the ice cream thing. He did really well for himself, honestly. But
yeah, you said he pulled in, like, couple hundred a day, just
easy.
Like selling it. Yeah,
shit, like it was like strip club money. Like, dude was
he was probably dancing on the side too.
But anyway, I used to because I was a teenager and I was an asshole. I used to go in his room and look through his drawers for like, and I'd find like stuff like weed, because
stuff like weed.
But
that was the first thing you found was the weed.
Yes. And the second thing I found one day when I was going in there was a long pump of a certain sort.
Oh no.
And I didn't know exactly.
I'm never gonna look at an ice cream truck still. Not that I had like really high hopes for them anyways, but like I don't know, man. Go on.
But like I didn't know what it was. Ironically, that same day, one of the Austin Powers movies was playing on TV. And then I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, yep. So I found it, and so my Uncle Dom walked in. I didn't really care that he walked. I heard him coming in, but he saw me. He's like, what are you doing? Get away from that. So...
Can you do that a little bit more realistically, and maybe in his accent?
Okay. What are you doing? Get away from that.
Yes, thank you.
He came in and I blackmailed him to giving me some of his ice cream truck money.
Oh, what?
But wait, so John had already conned him or blackmailed him into giving, I think it was like $100 a week.
Something
what?
Like that. Yeah.
So I think
like
after the penis pump, it went up to $200 a week.
Something like that. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I had like money in Choco Tacos, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was $200 a week because this is where I come in.
Okay, go ahead.
Being the piece of shit that I am, I heard about this and I was like, now wait a second, John's making $200 a week blackmailing his uncle. He's like being a complete dick. But I had dirt on John because every week. Not every week, every day at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
John would use that pump.
John was smoking weed and using a penis pump for no reason. Or he was smoking out of the pump. That was his thing. No, he had a girlfriend who I will not name, and she lived across town. Did she go to your church or something?
No, she lived in Raleigh. I lived in Garner.
Yeah, so she lived across town.
Yeah.
And John had to take a cab every day to go see her. which is probably the reason why he was blackmailing his uncle, so that he would have enough money to call a cab.
Yeah, that's baller as shit.
Yeah, to call a cab in Garner, North Carolina, which is, I didn't even know we had cabs. So, because this is Garner, North Carolina,
2002.
like 1999.
No, it was 2002. I wasn't in high school until like 2001.
Okay, so it was like 2001, 2002, something like that. So he would always get me to cover for him. So the story was basically that John was at my house playing like Dreamcast. Meanwhile, he was like cross town, probably like banging his girlfriend. I was like, you know what? He's gonna have to come up off some of that money. I've been covering for him for too long. So John was giving me like, it wasn't a ton, but I feel like it was like $40 a week.
That's a lot for that.
Well, it was in confidence that I would use the money to get an Xbox, which I did. And then we all could enjoy the Xbox together. So that's what happened. I ended up getting
like
an
less
Xbox,
of a con and just like more of just like a gentleman's deal.
It's a gentleman's deal. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'll keep you safe.
I will straighten up the facts a little bit here. Now, that particular girlfriend and I never, quote, banged. I was still in high school, and she was going to a Catholic school. So it was very much, hey, let's take it slow, and maybe we get to second base and third, and maybe third, and we stick at third for a little bit. See where it goes. That was not my idea, but but I was okay with
all
it.
of that you preempted that with did not equate to like, so we took it slow.
But you know, yeah. I respected that, you know, and that was fine. Was it worth it? Yes. There was no follow-up to that.
John, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you were in high school taking cabs across town to like see your girlfriend. Of course, it was worth it. Paying me a little bit of money, and you get to blackmail your Uncle Dom.
Yes.
Which is like, that's like half of the fun already.
Now here's the
like
thing.
50% there blackmailing his ass. That dude was hilarious.
Now here's the thing. This actually comes around to how I'm living today. Because now here's
we blackmailing now.
Well, I'm not blackmailing anyone now, but because of the situation that was happening then, my Uncle Dom and my Uncle Sam couldn't stand the girl that I was dating then.
Really?
But because of that, and in contrast to that, my wife now, who is an amazing person already, my Uncle Dom and my Uncle Sam love to death. I mean, like, she's their drinking buddy. Like, so. Like,
nice.
So, it's like, yeah, we love Megan, yes. Not like that other, you know, whatever derogatory words that, you know, baby boomers use to describe women. I don't know. But
oh,
another good save by John.
Yeah. Oh, yikes. That's weird though, because why wouldn't they I've never had an uncle, especially when you're thinking about just like uncles in your life, who gave a shit about the woman I was dating in high school.
Because you never blackmailed them to go see them.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
oh no, okay. Yeah. So they hated her because of the blackmail.
Yeah, this is like when you broke up with that girl, it was more of a sense of relief for them. They were just like, cool. Now he's not going to tell anybody.
He's not going to ask us, for like all this money. He won't tell anybody about thick Latin asses. Like, everything will be cool.
That guy he must have felt like he was just like over and over in fucking shit with you. Just like,
Uncle Dom?
Yeah, like
I feel like Uncle Dom was in shit with everybody. Like, I feel like he may have even been in shit with me. Like, he could not. It took him a while to like really get settled.
That guy can't even look at thick Latin asses anymore. Like,
that was Uncle
Sam.
That was Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is. I don't even think I've met Uncle Sam. I just have an image of him that's like mad cool.
No, Uncle Sam, he was, when we came to the States, my parents and I, we brought Uncle Sam. He was 16 at the time and I was 2. So he had a big hand in raising me. Out of all my uncles, and I'm sure if any one of my other uncles hear this, I hope that they understand. Uncle Sam is my favorite uncle. Just due to the fact, like, his wife also, like, had a hand, like, his wife, my Aunt Orna, like, they were dating when we got to the States, and she even helped raise me. Yeah, and like her brother, Aunt Orna's brother, lived with us, with my parents and my Uncle Sam. You know, that whole family is just
he's your mom's brother or your dad's?
My mom's brother. My mom's youngest brother. That whole family, like my Uncle Sam.
Dom is your mom's brother too.
Yeah, he Uncle Dom is older than Uncle Sam. And there's another brother who's younger than my mom, but still older than the other two, who's still in Bangladesh. That's Uncle Xavier.
This is like those weird math questions. Like, Uncle Dom is older than Uncle Sam, but younger than my mother's cousin.
All right, so I'm getting too much into that. The point I'm trying to make is that my Uncle Sam, my Aunt Orna, that whole family, like my cousins, their daughters, like everybody on that family, really, really cool. Like I love them to death. I know they love me. They had a huge hand in raising me. That being said, my Uncle Sam is and I'm including people in the South, I'm including white people, is one of the biggest gun-toting rednecks that you will ever meet.
Ah, jeez.
He is very much conservative, Republican, nationalist, American nationalist, and up until a few months ago, he was undocumented.
That's so fucked because it's like his ass could have been kicked out any moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any moment. Maybe
that was like his assurance. Like he was like, if I'm just a gun-toting fucking like redneck motherfucker,
everybody will like me.
Yeah, like everyone like they'll come to kick me out and just be like, nah, you can stay. Like, you're good.
There are actually stories about all of this ties together nicely. Maybe this can be our immigration episode, but I feel like there are several stories of people who voted for Trump who were like, yeah, they need to get rid of all the bad immigrants, whoever the fuck they are, and end up getting deported themselves. And we're like, I never thought this would happen to me. I voted for him, just like the people who would go to his rallies. There was like a black guy. I don't think he was a preacher. He was something, but he was something. But he went to a Trump rally, and he got beat up and kicked out. And he was like, "But I still like Trump. He still represents my values." And I'm like, "Yo, bruh, like you just got your ass kicked, and you got kicked out of the rally because the whole platform is racist. They all hate you. Like, get it together."
Do you think there is like a certain amount of people that, I mean, I said that like totally joking, but that really do think that way, like if they are supportive of this dude who is going to inevitably kick everybody out, that maybe they won't kick them out, as if like you walk around with a card that says you voted for the guy?
100%. And I will tell you that from experience, because my whole family has, not necessarily are pro-Trump, but they all like, pretty much my entire family has at least a little bit of that in them, outside of my father.
But why?
So my family, we're from Bangladesh, as you guys know, but we're Catholic. It's a predominantly Muslim country, but we're a Christian. Obviously I deviate from Catholicism because, obviously, but
because that shit's weird.
Yeah, it is. It very much is. But we're still like, it's very much kind of a cultural thing. Bengali Christians have their own culture. So it's kind of like being Jewish, like even if you're not necessarily strong in faith, a lot of modern Jews, they still consider themselves Jewish culturally. And that's a lot of ways if you're like a Christian from a South Asian or a predominantly Muslim country. It's similar, but
actually Catholicism in general has taken that direction, that a lot of people consider themselves almost ethnically Catholic instead of like they're born into it, as opposed to it just being another denomination.
Yes, 100%. And so when it's interesting because ever since, I don't want to call it identity politics because it really condescends to that thinking, to people who actually, there's a reason why identity politics exists, and there's a very good reason, is because there's a lot of disenfranchised people, obviously people of color and women, etc. But there's a reason why even now that this has come to the forefront, people like my family tend to kind of disassociate themselves, I think, and I think I don't want to say it's unintentional, it's definitely subconscious, to disassociate themselves from the bottom, quote unquote, of social hierarchy or how society looks at people. Like they kind of try to
judging from his DVD choice, it sounded like Uncle Sam definitely wanted to associate himself with the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
But like
That thick bottom.
So like my family have demonstrated, many of them have demonstrated Islamophobic tendencies, if not straight up Islamophobia. I know a lot of that is also due to the fact that in Bangladesh they may have gone through some type of discrimination because they were the minority there, as far as religion goes. And I understand that, I do. But there's also like a complete ignorance of Western culture. So like even though they try to disassociate themselves from this, whether due to, dislike from their past experiences or to kind of climb that social hierarchy, they don't understand that it doesn't fucking matter, because in America or in Western civilization, you are brown. It doesn't fucking matter what religion you are. It doesn't fucking matter like whether you are light skinned or dark, or I mean it does to some extent, but either way you are brown. You are grouped in with everyone else who is brown, whether they're Muslim or Hindu or whatever. They will judge you first before asking any questions.
Yeah.
So, but that's what the difference in our cultures is that like here, that is exactly what everybody's judged on, is like literally the color of your skin. Whereas coming from another country, I'm sure they're thinking in more of the mind frame of like, well, based on what I believe in will alter people's perceptions, but way off the mark for America, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're a shoot first, but kind of literally country.
Not to laugh at that. That was a clever play on words, but
that was in poor taste, John. How dare you? But no, we are. I kind of wish that whenever a new immigrant population hit the shores, that black people, that we were all just waiting on shore with a pamphlet that was like, welcome to America. Let us show you how this shit works. So you don't fall into some weird like self hating or incriminating cycle. Because you get that from when a lot of people come up from Latin American countries, when they come from the Middle East or from South Asia, from East Asia especially. A lot of people think if you play the game, if you believe a certain thing, that people won't look at you like you're different, that people will just accept you, and that shit's just not true. We have a country that is definitely governed by a very strict set of good old boy rules. And I've always told people, if you really want to know what America thinks of you, and especially what the Republican Party thinks of you and where you stand, go down to Mississippi, go to like the shittiest part of Mississippi, find the oldest, whitest dude you can find, and then step on his shoe and see what he calls you. And like, that's where you stand.
Color Correspondence was produced by Jonah Q with music also by Jonah Q. This is a Full Metal Workshop podcast. If you like it, please subscribe. For more info on Full Metal, you can visit fullmetalworkshop.com, find us on Facebook or on Instagram at Full Metal Workshop.